This is episode number 127 with Chance, and we can't disclose his last name.
That's right, everybody. Chance. This dude is one of the most badass dudes I have ever met.
Seriously, badass to the core, this guy, I can't even tell you. Just to give you guys a little bit of background on Chance, he's an Army veteran, was just over in the Middle East recently fighting ISIS. Seriously, we're talking badass dude. So he got back from the Middle East and was trying to figure out what he wanted to do, and just spur of the moment decided that he wanted to do a walk for veterans, to raise money, to raise awareness. So he started this GoFundMe, and we're not talking just any walk, right?
No.
This is like a fucking walk.
A walk.
Right.
This walk is from Waco, Texas to Portland, Oregon.
That's over 2,000 miles.
Over 2,000 miles. He's well beyond the halfway mark.
Yep. He just passed through Boise. We were jacked because he wasn't originally going to stop through Boise, but he did. And we got to sit down with him, hang out. Guy's amazing. We'll let you guys get right to it. Listen to his story. Listen to what he's got going on. Support him in any way you can. Share this episode. Get this out there to everybody. If you have veterans in your family, you have friends, any of that stuff, share this with them. Help this guy raise this $10,000 goal on GoFundMe and spread the word about this, because this is absolutely incredible. Chance, welcome to the Forge Your Potential podcast, bro.
Awesome. It's great to be here, guys.
Dude,
Seriously.
You've come a long way.
Yeah, pretty freaking far, right?
There's no doubt about it. So let's give everybody, do you want to give everybody just kind of a rundown of who you are and what you're doing?
Sure. My name's Chance, former Army veteran. I got back from a volunteer deployment with the Peshmerga about a month and a half, 2 months ago. Wanted to put something together for veterans and give back to the community, and decided I'm going to do a ruck march from Waco, Texas to Portland, Oregon. It's a little over 2,000 miles, and wanted to bring awareness to veteran issues like PTSD, homelessness, and suicide, and also want to bring in charities and visit these different veteran charities along my journey and see what they're doing for their communities and other veterans.
That's awesome, man.
So cool.
So cool.
Yep.
No, dude, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. You know, when you you have an idea. I think so many of us have ideas, but we never really take action to make things happen. So I want to commend you on what you're doing and taking those steps literally to bring about positive change and awareness.
Much
to a lot
appreciated.
Of
yeah,
issues.
just trying to do my part, So,
dude, yeah, that's what it's all about.
Put those positive vibes out there, and hopefully, inspiring other people. Hopefully, to give the veterans or maybe take a different perspective about the hardships they go through during their active duty times, and then after they get out, or maybe just inspiring people to be committed in something they're passionate about.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So how much further do you have to go?
Let's see. I looked at the map earlier this morning. I think it's around 450 miles.
Wow.
So a lot of it you've gotten done, man.
Yeah,
kind of on the home stretch.
So
yeah.
How long have you been at it?
It started November 16th.
November 16th.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's so badass.
That's crazy, man.
Right in the winter months, right?
Right.
How stupid am I?
You might as well go balls to the wall.
Right.
Right, if you're going to do something, right?
Right.
That's so funny. Yeah, like what made you decide? Was it just kind of like a spur of the moment thing? Like, you know what, I'm just going to do this? Because you was talking about you got home and then you wanted to do this.
Yeah, I think what got the wheels turning in my head was near the end of my time with the Peshmerga and Kurdistan. I became friends with some NGOs from France, SOS, and they help out refugee kids that parents have been killed by Daesh, ISIS, and they're homeless. They have nothing. So they run these schools for them and just go out there and mentor them and whatnot, just giving them something to look forward to. And I'm just seeing all these great things these guys are doing, and I wanted to translate that experience that I had with those kids into something positive with veterans, and it just got my wheels turning on thinking about what I can do. Got back, talked to my Army buddy, and we just kind of planned this trip out. And I said, okay, I'll see you when I see you here in a few months, and just got the beaten feet.
Right.
That's so sick. That is just badass. I love it.
It's crazy. Just like Connor was saying, we're just the decision to take action. And I wanted to jump into that real quick, since you have made the decision and you have gone a majority of the way by now.
Sure.
What do you think holds people back from taking action and actually standing up for something they believe in?
I think a lot of people, I don't know, I can only speak for myself, but I think it's more about the unknown, what's lying ahead, and they're maybe scared to take that next step and scared of what may lay ahead. But I believe, myself personally, I believe, you just got to jump feet in with it head first, and if you're not sure about what's going to happen along the way, you'll learn from it. It's just like any life experience, you're going to learn from it. But just go ahead and take that leap, and you'll figure it out along the way, right? Fake it till you make it.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. That's what it's all about. And honestly, like, once you get started and you kind of like before you start anything, you kind of have this idea of how it's going to be, and generally it's not even close to that. And then you kind of
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Right.
And it kind of opens your eyes, and you're like, holy shit, like, this is actually either a lot easier or just a lot more just kind of step by step. Like, I kind of know what I'm doing, and I can actually, and you know that you can do it,
Right.
instead of this looming idea that you just haven't strived for because you just haven't taken any steps whatsoever.
For sure.
Well, I think one of the biggest things I've realized in tackling, different feats is it's always a step-by-step process. And looking at it at face value, it looks huge and it looks daunting and it looks scary to a lot of people, right? But when you actually jump into it, like you're saying, it's just step by step. You just take it one day at a time.
Of course.
Literally step by step for you.
Step, yeah.
Right. But it's a systematic process that, you have a problem and you fix it. And you have another problem and you have another thing that's presented to you and you figure out how to keep going.
Sure, for sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
Learning on the go.
Right.
So,
Right.
Sink or swim.
Absolutely. So real quick, before we go any further, how are you funding this?
So I had some money saved up. I've used some of that. My parents, family, friends, they'll donate. But literally, I have like zero expense, man. I sleep outside. Right. I sleep in my tent. The water's free.
Right.
And the only thing that I really pay for is dry food along the way, or if I want to eat at a cafe when I go through town.
Okay.
Other than that, everything is funded by family or friends.
Is the GoFundMe to raise money?
Yes, that's to raise money. It's not for me. It's not for the trip. It's it'll go to various veteran charities, which I haven't decided on quite yet. Sorry.
See, I was unclear about that.
So what I'm trying to do, and it's been kind of hard to plan it out, and the fact that I'm not going through bigger towns, but I'm trying to visit as many regional grassroots veteran charities that I can, the smaller community-based ones, instead of giving this money to a big 501c that has super huge overhead. And they're not. I feel like the grassroots ones are the way they go. They're more involved, and they definitely need the money. So I visited, for instance, one in Clovis, New Mexico, started by some Air Force active duty guys and some veterans there. And what they do is transitional housing for homeless vets.
Okay.
And they're not really wanting just to give them a house. They want to give them a house to stay in for a little bit, mentor them, or just show them the way and get them a job and get them back on their feet.
Right.
And those guys are, they're still in the Army or Air Force, still working. They're the ones funding this out of their own pocket.
Right.
So, you can really see that those guys, they care a lot. And, they're like, man, we have $0, but we need 2 heaters for the houses. because it's 15 degrees outside.
Right.
They just pull their money together, go and buy it. So it's charities like that I want to give the money to.
Love it, man.
No, that's awesome. Yeah. That's a really great thing to bring up because a lot of people, they see these larger organizations and different things, and obviously they're doing a lot of great work, things like that. But when it comes down to it, it's definitely worth doing your due diligence as far as researching your organizations or whatever that you're thinking about donating to or get involved with, and seeing really what connects with you or resonates with you the most and what you feel cool with. Because I love that idea, having, donating to an organization or this or that doesn't have like any paid employees or X, Y, and Z.
And I feel obliged to, do my due diligence. So these people, they're giving me their money and they're entrusting me with it. They give it to the right kind of people and make sure that their funds, I want their funds to go a long way. I don't want to give it to some group and it ends up just promoting their group, making T-shirts or social media, stuff like that, right? Advertising. Right. I want to make sure this money gets to the people that it needs to help. So, I want to visit as many of those type of organizations as I can. There's one in Texas that I'm looking at. They send they send dogs to women's prison. The prisoners train them, and they give them to severe PTSD or wounded warriors afterwards as service dogs. So it's smaller groups like that I've been looking into.
No, that's rad. I love that. It's so cool.
So cool. And just taking the time, like you're saying, to investigate.
Right.
I think that a lot of people just throw money at something and then say, I've done my part.
Right.
Right. And taking the time to research and like you're saying, make sure it's going to something you really believe in and a good cause.
And also, leave it open. I haven't done it yet, but I want to leave it open to any guys that aren't on the way of my trip and maybe in like eastern part of the United States or central part of the United States to write me, tell me about these community-based vets groups that are doing the same sort of things and that I can look into. I'd even be happy to fly out, see what they're up to, and research them and make sure the money's going to the right places.
Right.
Perfect. Yeah, that's the way to do it. No doubt. So on this walk, what was have you changed mentally throughout, like when you first started to where you are now, and what was the first steps like for you as you're leaving Waco?
Sure. The first steps are, I think, more anxiousness, wanting to get it started. You're pretty excited, right?
Right.
And then somewhere along the way, it just becomes more a meditative experience and more Zen-like, and I just kind of zone out, and it's a lot of thinking throughout the day. I've planned my life out 1,000 different ways since I started walking, right?
Right.
Or thinking about all the stuff I could do after this is over and whatnot, but it's very therapeutic, and I think it's just it's really awesome, the people that you meet along the way and the stories that you hear and whatnot. So it's just experiences that I look most forward to, and not knowing what's around the next corner. But it's always, for the most part, it's been a positive trip so far.
Have you always been like that, where you are excited about the unknown, do you think?
I think so. Yeah, I've always been like in my heart, or like an adventurer, explorer, and things like Theodore Roosevelt, Jack London books, stuff like that always intrigued me.
Yeah, there's a lot of people I think out there that don't want to even deal with the unknown. They like things to be predictable. And I wanted to ask you, since you are in this zone a lot, what would you tell people? Because I think it's beneficial. I think it's beneficial to take risks and to see where things go.
Sure.
Right? Absolutely. So I'm curious to know, what would you tell people that are afraid of the unknown and that maybe want to become more adventurous with their lives?
Good question, man. Trying to put myself in their mindset.
You're like,
yeah,
right. For me, I think you just gotta jump in and do it. Like I've never been the type of person that's like, maybe I'm scared of something or afraid, but I'm still gonna end up doing it anyways. As long as it doesn't kill me, what's the worst that's gonna happen?
Right.
You look like an idiot. You're scared a little bit. Whatever, man. You get over it. It's a life lesson, and more often than not, it turns out to be a positive one.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Because we can see what we're like truly, actually capable of doing.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's all about pushing yourself and trying the unknown and getting there. And you can definitely, for yourself, find out what you're truly made of, and your body is able, or you're mentally able to push yourself further than you thought possible.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's funny because it makes me think. I was at the gym the other day. It kind of relates a little bit, but the squat rack that I usually use, it was out of service because one of the parts wasn't working or whatever, as far as like racking the bar back on the weight or on the rack, and so I was using one of the other squat racks that doesn't have like the safety bars down below for like if you drop the weight or anything like that. And so I was like, well, I could use that, but I was wanting to lift heavy today or whatever, and so I ultimately decided, I was like, you know what, like, fuck it. I thought the same thing. I thought, like, well, if I go down to squat this shit and it's too damn heavy, like, I'm going to drop it and it's going to make a loud-ass sound.
Right.
People are going to look at me like, what the fuck are you doing? Right. And I'm going to go about my day, like, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
So, like, just go ahead, throw the weight on there, like, use the other rack and just do it,
Right. Exactly.
So it kind of relates, and it is funny because I almost didn't do it. I was like, oh, well, I'll just go over and I'll do some, like, leg press or this or that. Like,
right.
And it's funny because, a lot of us, when we face any kind of resistance, we're like, nope, done. Like, okay, I'm on to something else. Like, you don't even almost want to think about it or something. I don't know what it is, but.
Right.
I hear you, man.
Yeah, it's interesting. Just that psychological effect a lot of that stuff has on us, for sure.
It's comparable in the sense of, could show you what you're actually capable of.
Right,
going beyond what your usual,
Yeah, I didn't drop the weight. I didn't kill anybody.
There you go.
Shit was good.
That's perfect.
There you go, brother.
Right on. But there was something I was going to ask you about what is it that you said you think you've thought about your life through and through 1,000 times and how it could play out? Is that what you think about most, or what do you think about most as you're walking throughout the day, do you think?
Okay, is when I'm not listening to an audio book, thinking about my life for the most part, what I'm going to end up doing after this trip, because I've been volunteering, per se, for like a year now, a little over a year, not working. But I want to keep this part of who I am going on with as far as helping out the veterans or even like my community back home. I feel like having a purpose and having some drive for something that's purposeful in your life is very important for me, for sure.
Oh,
and when I don't have that, I just feel totally lost. And I think that's what a lot of problems that vets have coming out of the service, that they're working towards something that's like bigger than themselves. They get out, they don't know what the heck to do anymore, right? So
right.
It's always good to have purpose and meaning in your life and helping others, serving others, and just trying to stay positive. But yeah, a lot of it has to do with how what I can segue this trip into next, what it can become, later on.
Right, possibilities are endless, like we talked about.
And there's nothing really going back to what you're saying when they get out of the military. Mm-hmm. There's nothing comparable to that.
Yeah,
there's nothing that you can jump into and feel the same that you feel, that I would imagine you feel while you're.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the only thing that would come close is maybe being a police officer or firefighter or something like that, but that's still not. It's not the same.
Right.
We feed off that action and those combat experiences, and it's like a drug. It's an adrenaline rush, and you get hooked to it. And when you get out into the civilian world, I feel like the only way for us to fill that hole or that void would be something like I'm doing right now, exploring, helping others out. We like having our purpose. So I think if there's vets out there that are having those kind of problems, find you some community-based organization or something around your town and get out there and put some purpose back in to your life. And I feel like it's definitely going to fill that void for you.
Oh yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think that's a huge issue in a lot of people's lives. Mm-hmm. Like having that sense of purpose. A lot of us, military and otherwise, we get up and we go through these routines day after day, and we're kind of doing these mundane tasks and not really knowing why we're doing them a lot of times. And just having that sense of purpose and belonging, for a cause or whatever it is that you resonate with is really important. And I think that I know that a lot of people could benefit from that for sure. And it's funny.
Absolutely. Don't get caught up in the mundane, man. You got to break those boxes and those barriers down and get out there and get outside your comfort zone. You'll surprise yourself, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. No, I love that.
Everybody will.
Yeah.
Oh, so true. So true. And I think it's cool, too, like this idea of like how helpful it is to ourselves to be of purpose to other people. It's like you can look for things all day to try to help yourself out as an individual, but like at the end of the day, what's most helpful, I guess, just in my own experience, and I'm sure you guys can kind of relate, is like, or what's given me the most sense of purpose is doing things that almost have nothing to do with me. It's like more just about helping other people or helping some other cause or whatever it is.
Right.
So it's just kind of an interesting dynamic how, if you don't focus on like helping yourself, you focus on helping other people, it ends up like really benefiting you.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, it does. I mean, I think in my experience, kind of touching on that a little bit, it opens up or it shows you things about yourself that you didn't know were there before.
Yeah, and other people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because you and I, Chance, were talking on the way over here about just how many incredible people there are out there, and how many incredible people you've met, just on this journey.
Yeah, almost a daily basis.
Yeah.
It's crazy the stories that I've heard, people I've met along the way. We were talking earlier, right, about it, and I was explaining that I thought this trip was going to be, okay, I'm out there walking, I'm going to be doing this for other people, and just to go back to what you just said, it becomes beneficial for yourself also.
Right.
Because you're learning from other people as well. But, yeah, the people I've met along the way, they've been super supportive. I thought it was going to be a whole solitude thing, and I wouldn't really see many people, but people are stopping me on the road every day, cars, needing a ride, you need anything? No, I got to explain what I'm doing. And then they're like, okay, all right, let's take some pictures. They want pictures.
That's so cool.
Put out there, and then they want to – and sometimes I'll meet these really badass Vietnam vets or other post-9/11 vets and whatnot, and, it's just cool to relate to them and then hear their stories, and they're just like super supportive. They want to give me rooms and food and a hot meal and shower and whatnot. But yeah, the people, if everybody did what I was doing, it doesn't have to be as long, but go out there for a week or 2 weeks, and if you have a failed sense of humanity, it would definitely be restored within that week or 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing, because you would think the opposite.
Right.
A lot of people would think the opposite.
For sure.
That's crazy. I actually had a question that I wrote down here. I wanted to ask you if you have encountered anybody that didn't agree with the way you were doing this, or somebody who was negative towards you.
No, not since I started.
That's incredible.
Yeah, not since I started. I saw a few little comments here and there before I started. They were thinking I wasn't going to do it or something like that. But
oh, really?
I was like, yeah, we'll just follow along on my Instagram or whatever. I'll post pictures when I can, when I'm in service. And,
right.
The only thing that's going to stop me is if I rupture an ACL, I get killed or by a fucking puma or something.
Right. We'll see on the news. Chance was eaten by a mountain lion.
That'd be a badass way to go.
Right.
I wouldn't mind it.
The mountain lion was found 100 yards outside of the kill zone and with a knife sticking out of his back, slaying some mountain lions.
That's what I'm talking about.
So talking about social media, and I mean, obviously that's probably been one of your biggest assets for publicizing this, right?
Yeah, that's how it all got started, for sure.
Cool deal. I wanted to ask you, have you gotten any other publicity around this?
Yeah, I've done newspapers along the way and some local TV shows. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
I think a few others have reached out. My sister normally handles that because she can email with them back and forth, and they'll contact me or whatnot if they're interested. But I think 2020 reached out, and then the Weather Channel found me. I was like, why the Weather Channel? What they do stories? Is that just weather?
Right.
What's going on? I don't know.
So how's the weather out there?
Yeah. It sucks pretty bad, Charlie. We're using my fucking Huevos off, man.
Back to you guys in your warm ass studio.
Yeah.
That was funny. Yeah, I wouldn't expect the Weather Channel either. I would have been like, what? Like, do you want me to give you updates or something?
Yeah,
Like, well,
I
now
had
you're
no
walking
idea. They
around.
were like, "Are you doing video logs?" And I was like, fuck, man, I'm not carrying a fucking video camera out here."
Well,
Well, yeah, so.
That's crazy. You picked the best year to do it.
Right?
Right. I mean, it's been terrible this year.
Oh, it's been pretty intense, let me tell you. Yeah, there's been some rough storms out there on the
I'm
way.
sure.
Oh, dude, yeah. Yeah, I have no doubt. He was talking about Nevada and how barren it is, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, walking through
So-
Nevada probably was
Yeah,
a load
well,
of fun.
I had to turn around, man.
Did you?
It was out there on the salt flats. It was nothing out there. Not even shrubs, no trees, no cover. Wind's whipping like a mother.
Right.
And the next town was like 140 miles. And I was thinking, dude, there's no way. There's no snow out here. Can't melt water.
Right.
I don't know if someone's going to stop or not. And if they did, what's the chances they'd have water on them?
Right.
And enough for me to make it the next week or whatever, however long. Maybe I get stuck out there in a storm. Who knows?
That's toying with your fucking life.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm all down for putting my life on the line, but I'm going to be smart about it.
Right.
And, yeah, so I was looking at the maps. Which way can I head? Which way would be a good way for me? There's Boise, Idaho. I walk from Boise to Portland, and the route looks pretty solid. There's plenty of towns along the way. Then I hooked up with you guys.
Yes.
We're glad you
Sent a
came, man.
message, man.
Yeah.
Dude, I know.
Oh, yeah.
I was so jacked yesterday when you're like, yeah, I'm actually going to be coming through Boise. And I was like, fucking no way, dude. This is so badass.
Oh, man,
So
I got to
cool.
throw a shout-out, dude, for you guys, like, hooking it up with the Marriott.
Oh, dude.
Hell yeah.
That was all him.
Yeah.
Dude.
He's
Calling the
Absolute
Marriott up, and,
Fucking honored,
and they
man.
fucking comped like 3 nights.
That's
Yeah.
amazing, isn't it?
Right. It's fucking crazy.
Is so badass. Like, and honestly, like, huge shout out to them because literally it was,
Right.
I called him and I was like, hey, so I got this guy. He's walking from Waco, Texas to Portland. Kind of told him about it. It's like he's got like almost $5,000 on the GoFundMe account and all that stuff. Like doing amazing stuff. And she's like, oh my gosh, yeah, let me go and I'll talk to my manager real quick. And literally like came back 30 seconds later and she's like, it would be an honor and a pleasure to have him here. You said for the 3 nights, and I was like, yeah. And she goes, awesome. So when he gets here, just have him check in at the front or whatever. Like everything's taken care of.
Right.
And
That's so cool.
How nice are those guys,
Dude.
man?
Seriously.
And it's so
phenomenal.
badass how supportive they are about it. I mean, those rooms aren't cheap down there downtown, right?
Right.
I think it's
Right.
like normally $180, $190
Right.
a night. That's crazy awesome.
Well, I think it's also a testament just to the balls to ask. Just having the balls to ask,
Right.
There's a lot of people that wouldn't even think about it. I mean, I might have thought about it, but I doubt it. And it came to his mind, he called and he asked, and it fucking happened.
Man, I'm so happy about that.
dude,
So
I was
cool.
too.
Yeah.
I was like, seriously, it made my month, dude. I was just like, this was like probably the coolest fucking thing I've done in a long
And
time.
it's shit like that. That'll restore your faith in humanity,
Yeah.
How cool of them. And let me tell you, we can go on and on about the people I've met that have done similar stuff like that along the way. So, yeah.
That's so cool. You want to share a story? A really cool story?
Let's see.
Yeah. You had a few when we were hanging out earlier.
I got a couple crazy ones.
Whatever one you want, man.
Let's see. Okay, this one's cool because I like the guy and his wife a lot. He's okay. I'm walking through West Texas. There's fuck nothing out there, and I'm about to hit New Mexico, maybe in like 30 miles. A fucking storm whips through, and it's blowing like 50 out. It's almost hail. It's like heavy sleet type shit going on. This guy rolls by in his like brand new Corvette. He's like, "Hey, bro!" I'm like, "What's up, man?" He's like, "What the fuck are you doing, dude?" So I explain. He's like, "You're fucking crazy. Hold on, I'll be back in like 5 minutes." He goes to his house, I guess, up the street. I'm like, "All right, I guess I'll hang out here." I don't know what he wants, but he comes back with his little pickup. He's like, "Dude, hop in. We got a guest house. You can stay over here with us for a couple nights till this storm passes through." And my wife, she just cooked a mean shepherd's pie, so come over. He would not take no for an answer, and I was, okay, yeah, let's do it, brother.
You were trying to say no to that offer.
Yeah, because I wanted to get my miles in.
Yeah.
I wanted to cross that state line so bad. because
Right.
walking through Texas was taking fucking forever.
I'm sure.
Yeah, no kidding.
It was just
quite large.
a mental thing, you know. You
Yeah.
pass that state line,
Right.
it's such like an accomplishment mentally, and yeah. So I stayed with him. He's a Korean War vet, and just a super nice guy, always helpful. I had a stretch going. His wife cooked like the best fucking dishes ever, so I ended up staying there a couple of nights. He was heading to Phoenix the next day, going along the route I was going to be going. He said, dude, you're not going to hit a town for like 100 miles. And I said, yeah, fuck, I know, man. It's going to be pretty rough because I need that water and whatnot. There's no snow yet, not enough built up on the ground to melt. And he said, dude, I'm going to drop you off cachets along the way. So he dropped off like 6 gallons along the way.
No shit.
Yeah, and he marked them, and he's like, but I don't know how you're going to find them, so here's a fucking like $600 GPS. Just mail it back to me. I'll put the coordinates in it.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Super crazy.
Just
Super
like-
awesome.
That's dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pretty
how cool is
awesome,
that?
right?
It was amazing. Yeah.
Super nice. I mean, fuck, the food was amazing.
Yeah. You're like, I'm gonna go back actually. Like
Right.
I'm gonna personally return your GPS so I can get some of that shepherd's pie again.
So a shout out to JP and Alba, man, from wherever the fuck they were for BFE, Texas.
That's awesome.
so cool, man.
No, it is. I'm sure you've had a number of those experiences, and I'm sure you're gonna have even more moving forward from here.
Right.
From here.
Yeah. Okay, here's a crazy one. I don't know if I should tell it or not, but I'll go ahead and maybe fucking edit it out if you want to. But
We'll leave it in just for that.
there you go. So this is I don't know, maybe 5, 6, 7 nights ago, a week ago, can't remember. But I'm out in northwestern Utah, and I decided to take this shortcut through like a reservation land for wild horses. I mean, showing roads on the map on the Google Maps. Showing roads, well, they end up being like ATV roads to this wildlife refuge. And it skirts a Army. Okay, I don't want to give the rest of that base away, but it skirts this Army base. And Google Maps doesn't differentiate between roads that are on military land and roads that aren't.
Right.
So it's whiteout conditions, and I come to this 90-degree angle in this fence line. It's saying Army property, no trespassing. And then it juts up this fucking mountain. So it's either go back the 40 miles I came, go climb this fucking mountain and see how far that fence goes, or hop this fucking fence and try to go to this main road that I think is a main road through this town. It's not. It is a main road, and it leads to a town, but that town is on an Army base, and it's a super private Army base. Right, so I'm walking down these. It's a range road for track vehicles. I'm walking down it. There's snow everywhere. It's whiteout conditions. I'm like, all I gotta do is make it to this main road. Hopefully, they don't see me out here and throw me in jail. Well, I get to this main road, and it's still the Army base.
Like,
But I don't know it yet. And then I'm walking along the road, and this lady, she stops. She's like, hey, you need some help? It's like fucking bitter cold. I was like 50 degrees white out. I go, yeah. Can you just take me to this town right up here so I can get some coffee and whatnot? And it's maybe like 4 miles up the road. And she goes, yeah, okay, hop in. And I hop in, and she goes, where are you coming from? And I go, that wildlife refuge place over there. And she goes, wait, what? You hopped the fence? And I was like, yeah. She goes, what the fuck, dude? She was like, oh, man, did I tell her my story, what I'm doing this for, et cetera, et cetera? She goes, oh, fuck. You may be in trouble. I'll help you out, though. So she's like, my husband, he works on base. He's a retired Army dude. But he heads up this anti-terror unit there.
Yeah.
And we pull up to his office, and there's like all these fucking dudes standing out there, and they're like, so what are you doing? And I'm like, yeah, so I told them, and they're like, dude, come inside. We got to make some phone calls. And I was like, oh, fuck. I'm going to sit my ass in the fucking slammer like all weekend.
Right.
Well, they're like, how'd you get in here? Blah, blah, blah. And I was telling them, they're like, you're fucking crazy, man. And they open up all these terrain maps, and there's like 20 dudes standing around. They're like, show us exactly how you got in here. And I'm like, yeah, we're fucking right there. They're like, how'd you not get caught? And I was like, I was in the fucking Army, dude. I know how to evade you fuckers. They're like, this is super, super high security base. You can't even get on here with regular military ID. And I was like, yeah, I didn't know that. It has a hotel here, whatever. And they're like, yeah, but it's on base, bro. So they call the cops, the fucking civvy cops up, and they go through my shit and check out my story. And they're like, all right, man. So they say, we're going to take you to this town. It's like 30 miles away. You take you there, and we'll let you out. They ended up buying me coffee and donating like $80. So it turned out to be a positive, but it's fucking crazy.
That's so badass, dude. Yeah. That's so sick.
Were you scared? Were you legitimately scared?
I wasn't scared. I just didn't want to deal with all the bullshit. I thought for sure once the cops came, they weren't MPs, but they were civilian cops for that post.
Oh, gotcha.
And I thought for sure they were going to be dicks.
Right.
And then send me, maybe spend the weekend there.
Right.
So I was like, this is going to fucking set me back, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But the other guys, the anti-terror dudes, they were like, he's fucking good, man.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Good deal, man. That's awesome.
That is funny. I'm glad you shared that. That was good.
But that's where the TV interviews and the newspapers came in handy. So I was like, yeah, just fucking look me up on the internet, bro.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm not lying, right?
Right.
I'm all over the place, man.
So you keep saying you're gonna get off track. Do you have a timeline on this?
Yeah, I want to be in Portland by mid-February.
Okay.
We're working on getting a venue set up in downtown Portland for the 25th. It's open to anybody, veterans, civilians. We're just going to throw a big party, hopefully get another charity drive going there, try to raffle off some stuff, and really just try to get a whole bunch of veterans together that maybe never knew all these guys were around. Maybe they can help each other out and network, maybe get something started for themselves in their community there. Who knows what can come of it, but it's always good to get those guys together.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. I have no doubt you're going to have an awesome venue there for sure, with a lot of support, and definitely with all the stuff that you've been doing along the way. And if there's anything that we can do to help you out, just say the word. And
for sure.
We'll
much
get you
appreciated.
guys. Oh yeah, we'll get you hooked up and make sure it's a good turnout for sure. It's an amazing story, dude.
Absolutely.
So amazing.
Yeah, and who's ever listening, if you're from around the Portland area, we're gonna a lot of guys have been contacting me. They want to do like the last 15 or 10 miles with me. So what I'll do is I'll get into town one day, and I'll stay at my buddy's house there in Portland, and then he'll drive me back out, and we'll meet up with like a whole bunch of vets or whoever wants to do the last like 10 or 15 miles with me in the Portland. We haven't decided on the end place there in Portland, but it'll probably be a bar. We'll all take some shots together, take some pics, and then get the fuck out of there.
Badass, dude. Yeah, you're going to have a parade.
Yeah,
I bet you're going to have more people than you think.
I hope not, man. I really just I kind of want it to be low key, right?
It'll be like Forrest Gump walking in there, and like all these people following you.
I think I'll go home now.
Yeah. I'm a little tired. Oh, that's so funny.
I'm sure you've had that reference a lot.
A lot of times. I think I turned it into a fucking hashtag now, like fuck Gump life. Yeah,
Gump life.
Oh, that's badass.
It's so cool, man. It's so fucking cool.
I love it. I have the one final question ready to go. Unless you have any questions,
I'm
Dustin.
good, man.
Good to go.
This has been awesome.
It's been so cool, dude. And
Thanks,
seriously,
much appreciated. Yeah, I love it. You guys are awesome. What you're doing is fucking great.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah.
Like it a lot, man.
Yeah. Thanks so much for taking your time. I know you got some rest to catch up on and everything.
I'm happy to be here.
Hanging out with us, dude. Yeah.
Happy to be in Boise. Get to experience it. Never been here, so
yeah.
It's underrated, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
It's a cool place.
I'm excited to see what it has to offer.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, the final question is, if you had the entire world's attention right now, everybody was listening to you. I know you're probably not a huge fan.
Put me
of
on the spot.
Yeah, exactly. The spotlight, here it is. If you had everybody's attention right now, what would you say to everybody?
Fuck, man. It's hard.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Super tough. There's a lot of things I would say.
Yeah.
But I think one of the biggest things would be get out there, fucking challenge yourself. You never know what's around the corner, like we were talking earlier. So get out there, challenge yourself, get to the unknown. You're definitely going to learn from it. And as far as my walk goes, I think maybe my walk, especially during the winter, how shitty the weather has been, maybe it's opened people's eyes, and maybe it translates into them knowing more about what veterans go through and how hard it can be for some guys. But everybody's experience is different, But maybe it gets them to look and research more into it and get involved with their veteran community where they're from. So that's what the whole point of me starting this was for vets. So I hope they get out there and, go shake a vet's hand or something, tell them thanks, or buy them a beer, or get more involved, see how you can help.
Right.
No, I love that. That's what it's all about, man.
And how can people find you and keep up with you?
Sure. I have a Instagram. It's soter.legion, SOTER.legion. And my sister runs a Facebook page that I update her with pics and news. It's called a Cross Country Walk for Vets.
Perfect.
So you can find me on there.
Very cool. We'll get all that linked up in the show notes and all that stuff. And everybody listening, you guys can find that on forgeyourpotential.com/podcast. And follow those links. Go out there, support. We'll put the link to the GoFundMe in there as well.
Yeah,
go over there. Yeah.
Support the cause for
Absolutely. Donate. If you guys can't donate, just do something. Share it on social media. Comment on one of the posts or something on social media. Just follow this effort that he's got going on here, and just do something to help out. I mean, you just really have no idea. Even just the smallest amount of effort or smallest amount of help that you can give can really make a drastic difference.
For sure, and I know not everybody, they can't donate, so for sure share one of the posts or tell your friends and family about it.
Absolutely. Well, again, Chance, dude, thanks so much for hanging out, and it's been an absolute honor to have you.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. And everybody out there in the Forge Your Potential Legion, remember, as always, today is the day.